Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Shri Gaurnitai ki, Jagannath Vande Subhadra Mai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Scarborough Sunday Feast ki. Okay, so, few of us here. So I thought I'll speak something on, I think everyone has a copy of Bhagavad Gita, so you understand the subject is going to be Bhagavad Gita. So in 15 days we will celebrate the Advent, or Gita Jayanti, the Advent of Bhagavad Gita, the day when Sri Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So I thought it's a good time to start preparing ourselves for that day. In 2 weeks, we will gather again, probably on Monday, December 1st. We will gather again and read the complete Bhagavad Gita here in this temple. So setting a mood for that day or getting prepared for that day, we would read from 18th chapter, the final chapter. And if you are reading English, I can tell you which page to go. We go to page 700, text 60. While everyone is looking for that, let's start our prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please repeat after me. This is text 60 of chapter 18. The name of the chapter is Conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Swabhavajena Kaunteya.
Swabhavajena Kaunteya.
Swabhavajena Kaunteya.
Swabhavajena Kaunteya.
Nibbadda svena karmana.
Nibbadda svena karmana.
Nibbadda svena karmana.
Nibbadda svena karmana.
Kartum nechasi yanmohat.
Kartum nechasi yanmohat.
Kartum nechasi yanmohat.
Kartum nechasi yanmohat.
Kariyasyasi avashopitat.
Karishoshi avasopitat.
Kariyasyasi avashopitat.
Karishoshi avasopitat.
Translation. Under the illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But, compelled by the work born out of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. There's a small purpose, let's read that. If one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated. Everyone is under the spell of a particular combination of the modes of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. So let's invoke some auspiciousness by reciting the Mangalacharana prayers. ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदामेहं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साधुजातं सरगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सावधरितं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you very much for joining today. Is there anyone who is here for the first time? First time comers? Second time? Third time? Second? Fifth? Third? Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming back again. So I appreciate everyone's time. You have chosen your time to be spent with the Association of Devotees. And I chose this verse. There was a reason behind it. Of course, we are getting closer to the marathon. We have to discuss something about Bhagavad Gita. But if you see, this is probably, so we read 60th verse just now. And I think this is like one of the last 10 texts that Krishna speaks. So it's a conclusion of the entire episode of Bhagavad Gita, whatever Krishna said. And in conclusion, Sri Krishna is reminding Arjuna, how did it start? It started by Arjuna saying, Krishna, I don't want to fight. I see my grandfather, my teacher, my uncles, my cousins standing in front of them. How can I kill my family? Right? That's how the Bhagavad Gita started, right? And in different chapters, Sri Krishna was trying to explain to Arjuna that you are just being an instrument. These people have been already killed. Rise above three modes of material nature. Think about the eternal soul, not just the bodies. So over the different chapters, Krishna explained what is the position of Arjuna, what is his position as Supreme Lord. And at the end of the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, he is saying that Arjuna, now you are declining to fight, but when the time comes, you will be compelled to fight. Because Arjuna is a warrior, right? What does warrior do? Fight wars. That's very obvious. The similar situation or similar circumstances applies to us also. When we do not act according to the instructions of Sri Krishna or according to the instruction of our superiors, gurus, or devotees, or shastras, we will be compelled to act, and we will act in a way that Krishna will talk in the next verse. So it's a series of verse. Thank you. It's a series of verse that I want to. It's a little jumbled up, but it should make sense. Let me just look at it. Yes, this is 59. Going back. Krishna says, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to engage in warfare. So Arjuna's nature is that he's a warrior and he has to engage. And the word used here in this specific text 59 is called ahamkaram ashrita. That means your ego, your false ego. So by the influence of your false ego, what is Arjuna's false ego? That he's a brother, he's an uncle, he's grandson, he is a very pious and religious person who doesn't want to engage in any killing. So he's saying that under that ego, you will be forced to act. Now, if you don't act according to my direction, the results will be something else. That is what Shri Krishna wants to say here. So I want to take you to a little pastime that happened, which is related to what we are talking about in Mahabharata. So if you know Mahabharata, it lasted for 18 days, yes? And from Pandava's side, there was a commander-in-chief, Drishtadyumna, right? So it's long. I don't want to go into very long details to confuse everyone, but on the Kaurava side, the commanders kept changing. So for the first 10 days, it was Bhishma, the grandfather Bhishma. Then when he got injured or Arjuna pierced his body with arrows, then for next 5 days, it was Dronacharya. So that's 15. Then 2 days was Karna. And probably toward the end, it was Ashwadhama. So when Karna was commander-in-chief, that's probably the end of 16th day or beginning of 17th day when he was leading the charge from Kaurava side, and he was fighting very fiercely. He was very skilled warrior. Almost, I would say, there was a comparison between Arjuna and Karna at some point of time. And Arjuna was fighting at a different side of the battle with some other groups. And on this side, Karna was trying to charge and go into the army of Pandavas, and he faced Yudhishthira. So Karna and Yudhishthira, they became face to face, and Karna was mighty, he was powerful, skillful. With his arrows, he injured Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was as such very soft in nature. Right? He was Dharmaraj. He used to speak nice things, follow nice things. Some people would even call him Brahmana. He was so noble that people would call him, instead of Kshatriya, you are Brahmana. So he got injured. His charioteer pulled him off the field and took him to the camp so he can get some medical attention. So, though Karna had chance, he could have killed Yudhishthira. But at the beginning before the war started, Karna had promised Kunti, mother of Pandavas, that while I fight in this battlefield, I'll make sure that 5 of your sons will remain alive. So because Karna was also the son of Kunti, and his only enemy was Arjuna. So he said, either I will kill Arjuna or Arjuna will kill me. So you still have 5 sons living around. Yes, makes sense? So Arjuna was taken to the camp, Yudhishthira was taken to the medical camp to get some attention, and he was getting some treatment. And Shri Krishna and Arjuna got to know that Yudhishthira is injured, and he needs some, he had to be taken off from the field, and they were very worried. More of Arjuna. Arjuna was worried about how and what is happening with his elder brother. So Arjuna reached that medical camp where the treatment was being done. And looking at Arjuna, Yudhishthira thought that because Karna injured me, or he was so fiercely fighting with me, Arjuna might have already killed Karna and come to give me a good news that brother, I killed the person who was trying to harm you. So Yudhishthira said to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, I'm very happy to see you since you have killed Karna." So Arjuna said, "My dear brother, I just came to see you. I came to check that you are doing okay or not. I have not killed Karna." So Yudhishthira Maharaj got very angry. Right? There's expectations in the war. Everyone is expected to perform at the best of their skills. And Yudhishthira Maharaj got very angry, and he said to Arjuna, "Arjuna, what kind of warrior are you? That person was trying to kill your brother. He shot me arrows everywhere in my entire body, and you have come here without even taking the revenge. You know what? You are not qualified. You're not qualified to hold the Gandhi, the bow that Arjuna, the mighty bow that Arjuna had." Now there's an interesting story that before the war started, Arjuna had taken a vow saying that if anyone tells me that I am not eligible and I am not qualified to take my vow, then I should cut that person's head from the body. So hearing the words from Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna started to reach his sword, trying to take it out. And there was Shri Krishna, of course, witnessing the dialogues, right, the situation. Krishna hold Arjuna's hand. "Arjuna, what are you doing?" "Krishna, I vowed, so I have to cut his head. Now, if you cut the head of your king, then you lose the battle, right?" So Krishna said, "Okay. Now, if you disrespect your elders, it's almost like killing them. So Arjuna understood what Krishna wanted to say. So then he put the sword back and he started to speak and saying, Yudhishthir, you are the worst gambler in the history of the world. Just because of you, we are in this situation today. You could not take care of your younger sons. You could not take care of your kingdom. What kind of king are you? You should be ashamed of yourself that you were fighting with Karna and you ran away from the battle and you are here and crying in pain and crying like a baby, you know how you're not a Kshatriya even, what to speak of king. So Yudhishthira was of course struck in his heart. And Sri Krishna said, okay, one problem gone. Then Arjuna again, he tried to pull his sword. And Krishna was like, what now? Right? You did what you had to do, right? So Arjuna said, because I have disrespected my elder brother, I should kill myself. So Sri Krishna said, okay, but you know what? If you praise yourself in front of others, sing your glories and glorify yourself in front of your elders and others, it's as good as killing yourself. Arjuna understood that. And then he started to say that. Yudhishthira and Krishna, do you know I am the most powerful archer in the world? I even defeated the king of heaven and sat on his throat. You know, I pierced the eye of the fish just by looking at the water, and I won the hand of Draupadi. I have all the weapons from all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, and blah 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 blah. He was glorifying himself. And Krishna said, okay, now you both are dead, let's go to fight. So this story tells us that our nature is designed in a way, or is given to us in a way by the modes of material nature, that even if we don't want to act in a particular way, we will be forced to act in that way. You are a warrior. You're a warrior in temple. You will be warrior at home. You will be warrior in your washroom also. That's your nature, right? That's how you are built. How it applies to us is that if we don't surrender our tendencies or our nature to the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will be in trouble, like Arjuna is. So since chapter 1, Arjuna is kind of in a confused state of mind, and Shri Krishna is trying to take him out of that perplexing of dvanda, yes, no, good, bad, mind, yours, hot, cold, the dualities of the world. And Krishna is asking Arjuna that you just fight. And how you fight? That we will read in the next verse. This is 64, jumping a little bit to the subject. Shri Krishna says why he chose Arjuna. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. The next two words are very important, but I'll skip that. Then he says on 69, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be ever one more dear. So Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna that all the conversations I had with you, anyone who tries to convey this message to my devotee, he uses that word, bhakta, that if you try to convey this message to my devotee or discuss this subject among my devotees, then you will be the most dear to me. And there's one more verse that tells us where this knowledge should not be discussed. That's 67. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, not to one who is envious of me. So these are the instructions to us. The reason I brought this subject today is that, as you all know, we are getting close to the appearance or the advent of Bhagavad Gita, which is, we call it in ISKCON as Srila Prabhupada's book marathon. Yes, does anyone know about book marathon? Yes, raise your hands if you know about marathon. Yes. Do you know what is a marathon in general? Yes? The general marathon race or the run. Yes? Everyone knows? That means you run long. 42 kilometers? How many kilometers? Yes, probably 40 something. It's a long run. You run for very long. And Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he gave us the month of December as the month of marathon for distributing these books to anyone and everyone. Now, I'll tell you one story, then I'll come to conclusion of our today's subject. The power of distributing books, the power of distributing this knowledge that Sri Krishna just mentioned in the verse 69. This is a real story, actually happened, something that actually happened in our lifetime. And we're talking about the country of South Africa. So if you know Durban Rath Yatra, there's a Rath Yatra in Durban, it's one of the biggest Rath Yatra in the world, out of India. And one year, there were chariots going down the road. And there's a man standing a little far from chariots. He's just looking at the chariots and he's crying. Not a devotee, common man or any common man. He's just looking at the chariots and he's crying. So, as usual, our book distributors, devotees who distribute books, they go to him and ask him, "Sir, are you all right?" And he just keeps crying and he's shaking. The devotee said, "Do you need a cup of water? Or should I get you something? Do you have any problem?" And he said, "That is a long story." And the devotee said, "I want to hear it." So he said, the gentleman said that in my early life, I was not a very good person. I used to steal things, I used to do all the bad things that you can imagine. And result of that, I landed up in prison for a very long time, for many years. Now in the beginning, I was still, inspired, or I was still puffed up with all of my background and still wanted to, go out and do the same things. But as the time passed, I thought that, what should I do? I should try to do something, right? So I went to the library of our prison, and I saw a golden book. This is not this, a different book, a golden book. And I started reading it. When I read it first time, I did not understand anything, what they were trying to say. But then I thought, let me try to read it again. And again, I did not understand anything. Then I thought, okay, let me give it one more try. And I read the complete book for the third time. And then I understood a little bit of what it was being said in the book. Then I went to the library again just to check there are more books like that. And then I found there were like more 11 books like that. So sequence volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a sequence. Then I started reading that book, one after another, and I completed the entire set of books. So the devotee asked, what was the name of the book? And the gentleman said it was Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is a biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translated by our founder Acharya, Krishna Prabhupada. And the gentleman continued, he said, in that book, I had read how Jagannath has a chariot, 3 chariots when they roll down the street, everyone is dancing and chanting. I never knew how the chariot looks. In my life, I've never seen a chariot, a rath. And how Jagannath is, what is Subhadra, what is Balaram. I did not know anything. The only thing I had was those books. And in those books, the author kept saying that whatever you eat, you must offer to Krishna. So I cut pictures from those books. You have pictures in this book, like this. All the books comes with a picture. So he cut the pictures from those books and he made a small, he stick them to the wall and he would offer his prison food that he would get twice a day. He became vegetarian because he read that no meat eating and all the regulative principles. And then he would offer his meal to Lord and then eat it. And when he came out of the prison, after doing all those for more than 10 years, he came out of the prison and there was an address. We usually have an address in the second or third page. There are some addresses here. So he wrote a letter on that address to the local temple, asking how he can join and how he can get more books and read more about the movement. But he never got a reply because the temple had moved to a different location or a different address. And then he said that today I came to this city by chance, not knowing what was going to happen. And I see the chariots rolling down the street. So I could not control my tears, that's why I was crying. The reason I told you this story is, we do not know who needs these books. We do not know where they will end up and who would take benefit from them. This is the highest of all the knowledges. The Bhagavad Gita is said that there are Vedas, there's a cow-like Vedas, and Sri Krishna is the milkman, and he's milking the Vedas, like how you milk the cow. and the result is born as Bhagavad Gita. So this book is the essence of all Vedas. And when we distribute these books, anyone who come across this transcendental or beautiful knowledge, it can change anyone's life. And this was one of the examples I gave you. There's a book called Distribute Books, Distribute Books, Distribute Books. That's the name of a book. And in that book, there are so many of such instances. There's one more instance. I'm just telling this story so it inspires me, and I hope it inspires you, and we all can engage in book distribution. So this is in the Eastern Europe. There was a devotee during the marathon. Marathon is also close to Christmas, right? As we start December, we are close to holidays. And holidays is a gift season. People give gifts, they exchange gifts. So there was a devotee, and I'm talking about the years where there was USSR and the distribution of spiritual thing was not very common or not allowed by the government. So there was a devotee who was trying to distribute books on road. He had a backpack. Devotees usually go with bags full of books. So he had a backpack at the back, and he had a pile of books in his hand. He was trying to, distribute on the street. Somehow the police saw him. The police saw that this guy is trying to sell something on the street. So they were trying to catch him. Now this devotee, out of fear of getting, in jail and going through all the troubles, he was running in between the streets, trying to hide there, trying to hide here. And eventually he came to a dead end. And the only thing he could see, there were two doors. One was right, one was on left. The door on his right was locked. He could not open. So with all the urgency, he prayed to Krishna, please keep that door open. And he pulled the door, and luckily that door was open. And as he opened the door, and he went in the room, as he walked, there was a dead silence. There were more than 150 or 200 people in that room. And there was a program going on like what we are doing. There was a person on the stage, there were lots of audience sitting. And as he opened the door, everyone was looking at him. And he was in extremely anxious situation, thinking what will happen. I was running from one police. I opened the door, there are 150 people here looking at me. If I go out, the police will catch me. If I stay in, I don't know what's going to happen. While he was, internally praying to Krishna, Krishna, please save me. I don't know what you want me to do. So the MC on the stage, he announced, okay, everyone, our gifts are here. Please go to that person and collect your gifts. So all the persons who were sitting in the hall, they ran toward him, and all the books he had in his hand, in his backpack, whatever, everyone just snatched the books from him. And when he ran out of the books, the people said, where are the other books? Everyone needs books. He said, I have a few friends on the street, I can bring them. He said, okay, bring them. So he got hold of other devotees, and a lot of devotees came in, and they sold everything that they had in that assembly. And towards the end of the assembly, he was wondering, what is this place? Why these people are so anxious, or what kind of place I am in. Then he saw on the stage, it said, Butchers Society. So all the people who were assembled, they were the butchers, and they received these books. So we never know what kind of situation. Eventually we all are Krishna's part and parcel. We have long forgotten our relationship with Lord Krishna, and hence we are suffering here. And we never know when our chance comes, and we come across a devotee like our Kajan Prabhu. We distribute books in parking lots, in hospitals, right? So why don't we take up the service of distributing this transcendental literature, not just for the welfare of others, but for the welfare of ourselves also, because Krishna says that there's no one more dear to him than one who spreads this message. And on top of that, this is Sri Krishna saying, or asking us to distribute his knowledge. And on top of that, Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, he instructed us that during the marathon, we should go out and distribute as many books as possible. So you have two orders. One order from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by himself, and then you have order from his very most, dearmost servant, and our Param Guru Srila Prabhupada. So we have books. You see, there are lots of books here. We need your help to distribute them. Maybe you can take, if you don't have one for yourself, first take one for yourself. If you have one, take one for your friend. If your friend has one, take few for your colleagues. If your colleagues have, take one for your family or anyone that you know who can benefit from it. The reason of telling all this story is that we do not know that what Sri Krishna is inspiring the other person, right? Like both stories that I shared, you would have never imagined that you would distribute books in such places, or books like Bhagavad Gita. where nobody knows who is Krishna, nobody knows who is Arjuna, right? Nobody knows what is Sanskrit. When they open the book, they have no clue of what they're talking about. But still, Shri Krishna inspires them because this is the words and the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are very potent. And they carry a lot of weight, and it can change anyone's life. We have seen that in our movement when Srila Prabhupada was here in 1966, when ISKCON was founded in New York. He changed the life of thousands just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, serving prasadam, and discussing the beautiful literature of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have a few programs. One program, as I said, you can take one or two or few for yourself, your family, and your friends. And the other program we have is, if you don't know anyone, if you have no capacity to bring the books, give it to someone and distribute personally, we have a team of dedicated devotees. All we ask you is to sponsor books, sponsor a book, and we will distribute on your behalf. And you still get the credit of it. That's a very good deal. And our team is, we distribute these books anywhere and everywhere, may it be on streets. We place them in hospitals where patients have access to these books. We place them in long-term cares, old age homes. We place them in motels. There's an interesting story. Last week, I was in Montreal, and we are having our regional conference of ISKCON's regional conference for Pan-Canada centers. So we had 30 centers in that small, not small, but a hotel in Montreal. And the owner of that hotel, somebody had put Bhagavad Gita in his hotel many years ago from the Shastradan, or a program that I just said that we will distribute on your behalf. Someone had placed the Bhagavad Gita at a hotel, and he read it. He got convinced. Now he's a devotee. He serves Krishna. He's vegetarian, doesn't eat meat, no gambling, no intoxication. And not only he himself is a devotee, you will find Bhagavad Gita in his hotel that he owns in each room. And the same devotee who hosted 100 of the regional leaders in Canada for this conference. So distributing these books does bring success. So Prabhupada sometimes would call this as time bombs. They have inbuilt timer in. The timer is on each individual heart. When the heart is ready for a transformation, the timer ticks in, and you get a book, you read it, and you transform your life. So there are unlimited stories. I can keep going on and telling the Sankirtan stories, but the message I want to give is that please take a moment and do whatever you can. This is to protect our society, this is to protect our values, this is to protect our future generation from going down. And if you cannot do a lot, at least pledge one. That's the lowest number we can do today. If you do more, yeah, we're more than happy. Maybe a box, maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 50. So, and if we pledge that, oh yes, I'm going to do this, then Shri Krishna will give us all the strength, all the Lakshmi or all the money, all the support or all the health, whatever is needed. Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Shema Vahamyam, I will fulfill whatever you lack. Whatever, he says, Yoga Shema Vahamyam, whatever it might be you're lacking, I'll make sure that you have it. To do what? To spread his words around. Now, unlike other corporations, we only ask for this hardbound book of more than 1,000 pages, 900 pages, 800 something, with colorful pictures, all the 700 verses, beautiful translation of each word, and transliteration of each word, and translation of the word with a purport. You won't get anything better than this. There was one instance, Srila Prabhupada was speaking in Hyderabad from Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Prabhupada was saying that Krishna is saying that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraj. Abandon all the religions, just surrender unto me. I'll take away all of your sins. And there was a gentleman, an Indian gentleman, sitting in the audience, and he was like, Swamiji, what you say is right, but how can I trust you blindly? How can I trust the Bhagavad Gita blindly? So Srila Prabhupada said, but you cannot also not trust Bhagavad Gita blindly, right? So in order to say that this book is not right, or this book is not for me, or this book doesn't give a proper message, you have to have some arguments, right? And this book is so perfect, so complete, that it doesn't have any faults, because it's spoken by Sri Krishna himself. And all the instructions that you read here in the complete Bhagavad Gita, they are perfect in itself. Nobody could argue that what Krishna said is not right. There are few commentators who derive different meanings of, when Sri Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraj, come to me, surrender unto me. Who is me? Krishna. But there are some commentators, they say, no, by me, he means the impersonal Brahmana, the light, the effulgence, or the universe, or the nature, or blah, blah, blah. So they are deviating from the words of Sri Krishna, but they still nobody can say that these words are not right. There are more than, I think, 800 or 900 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Most of them are done by who don't even know who is Krishna and never understand Krishna. But still, they use Krishna's words as reference and write the books. So you imagine, in the history of our mankind, there's not a single person. Yeah, I came across one instance, I'll quickly tell you. There was a guy, I would not name his religion or whatever. So there was a guy who was saying that, what kind of God is yours? He's telling you to kill your family? Is this your God? What if he comes to you tomorrow and says that you kill your family? What kind of God is that? So Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that people who are mudha mam avijananti, those who are foolish rascals, they never understand him. Krishna was telling Arjuna to fight because Arjuna was on the side of dharma, religion. There was other party who was on the side of irreligion. To establish the religious principles, Krishna instructed Arjuna to kill the irreligious party, right? And that's the right way to do. May it be your family, may it be your grandfather, may it be your teacher. If they are doing irreligious activities, they are entitled for the punishment. That's what Krishna asked for. How can you say that Krishna is asking you to kill your family members and therefore he's not God? Does it make sense? Yes? No? So, humble request to everyone that please take your pledge. Today, we have Ganpati Prabhu and Saurabh Prabhu at the back. You can meet myself or Kajan Prabhu if you have any questions about the quantity or the value and the programs. And we'll be more than happy to put you in contact with the right person to help us distribute this divine knowledge. We don't have a lot of time. We just get a month to distribute books. We have our target, which we will announce probably next week or so. So help us achieve that target by contributing whatever you can. And if you cannot contribute, at least go home and read it. Read the instructions and change your life. We will also read the complete Bhagavad Gita, as I said, on Gita Jayanti, December 1st. I think it's Monday. Yeah, Monday. It will be Monday. We will announce more details shortly. So stay tuned and please make this book your life. And so, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanand.